What's up, you guys? All right, well, today is day 33. I'm up $5,500 buying and selling pot. Aurora Cannabis, that one paid the bills today. Continuation on SRNE, which didn't really hold up super well. Look at how nice these little flowers are. Man, it's so pretty out here this time of year. The last few years I've been traveling quite a lot around this time of year and into the summer, and it's nice to be in New England. I mean, I wish it was a little warmer today, but anyways, SRNE was a continuation stock, and that one didn't hold up very well. Lost 500 on it or something like that. Another stock off the Gap scanner lost on, but then ACB started ripping up. I bought the micro pullback. I bought that first pullback, and that thing ripped from 16.50 up to 17, 18, 19, pulled back, another move higher. Awesome price action. So $7,000 of profit just on that, and I actually was probably up closer to 7,000 on the day total before giving back a little bit of profit, but 5,500 is a great day, 33rd consecutive green day. I feel good about that. And tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm gonna host a free workshop. There's a link right there in the description that you can register to. During the workshop, I'm gonna walk you guys through our summer school program, which is gonna be starting on June 1st. All right, so I would love to have you guys register for that workshop. I'll talk a little bit about the strategies that I've been using over the last 33 days, how I've been finding these stocks each morning, where I get in, where I get out, how I manage my risk. So I'll break that down for you. I'll show you some examples, and then we'll talk a little bit about the summer school program starting on June 1st. All right, so that's tomorrow, live, 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're registered, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hopefully we have a nice gap scan, and I can make it a 34th consecutive green day tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye. All right, you guys, so we're going to break down the stocks I traded today. I'm going to finish the morning up $5,553.87, 7,000 of which is from Aurora Cannabis Inc., ACB. That was the big mover today that I was able to capture some profit on. I will say that I'm a little disappointed that I know on my at least last two trades gave back probably about $1,000 on each one. So I was probably up closer to $9,000 or maybe even almost $10,000 on ACB. But at the same time, I was ready to call it a day back before this broke over 16, right in this area. At that point I was up about 2,000 on the day, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to push my luck. It's a green day. Better just, take my profits and throw in the towel, because my first two trades, well, actually, my first trade out of the gates was a green trade on SRNE, but then the next trade was a red trade, and I went from being up on SRNE maybe 800 or $1,000 to down 325, and then the very next trade was on BSGM. So I was actually down like $1,400 today before getting myself out of the red and into the green. And so the very fact that I'm walking away green today is fantastic, and I'm really happy for that. And, it is one of those things that you don't want to overstay your welcome. The more time you spend in the market, the more you're risking, making some mistake, and next thing you know, you've given back your whole morning of profits. And, a stock like ACB did give us a really nice breakout right here at 16, which I missed. But then I bought the first pullback with the long at 16.50, which was on this 1 minute setup right here. So that was the place where I ended up actually jumping in, and that was where I got a really clean trade, a rip from 16.50 up to 17.50, another 1 minute pullback right here, and then a rip up to 18, 19, all the way up to $19.68. Not bad at all. I mean, really a pretty awesome momentum stock. Again, a little outside my price range, but I did decide to take some trades on it, and I really tried to capitalize on it as much as I could. My focus right now, for the most part, has been to try to trade what has volume. BSGM was an exception to that. BSGM was a lighter volume stock that I jumped into right here on this opening range breakout. I tried to do a 5-minute opening range breakout for the break over 12. I was long at 12 and it failed to break, and I ended up stopping out at 1175 or something, 1167, whatever it was, and losing 1200 bucks. It was a stock that a few of us were watching. It was on the gap scanner, but it was kind of low on the gap scanner. It didn't have a lot of volume. It wasn't on the high day Momo scanner. I jumped in it, and next thing you know, I'm down 30 cents. And at that point, I was like, all right, I got to leave these light volume stocks alone. I really need to focus on the ones that have more volume, because those are the ones that people are watching. And so that was the first trade, of course, was on SRNE. But this one, although it was a continuation setup from Friday, as you can see, it didn't hold up super, super well. It ended up rolling over and coming back down. And I had my first trade on it, if I can pull back this 1 minute, which was a long on a bounce off of 9 for a rip back up to 950. Nice trade. It came back down to 9. I tried to do a bottom bounce a second time and ended up actually halting, going down at 862. I stopped out at 69 or something like that before it halted, which is good. And then I got back in at about 880 as it started to squeeze back up and caught a little bounce, but not a very big one. So SRNE, although it was the obvious stock, it has been weak, and it's done a couple of fades off the VWAP, as you can see, both right here at 940 and again right in this area of about 11 a.m. So that one wasn't clean. BSGM wasn't clean, but ACB, this was the one that gave us the momentum. And honestly, I initially was like, I don't care about it. The float officially, according to Trade Ideas, is over 1 billion shares. Now, that's not correct. That's not the actual float. They just did a 12-to-1 reverse split. So the float's probably closer to 90 million shares, which is not low, but is still better than 1 billion. So anyways, I did take some trades on it only after it was proving itself. But look at this open. So it looks like it was about to open at 15 right here, and then the bell rang and it opened way down here at 1232 and instantly popped up and halted going up. So when I see an open like that, what it makes me think is that right before the open, someone probably had a huge sell order that executed when the bell rang. The bell rings, it executed, it dropped, and then immediately buyers were already putting out shares to buy the dip, and it pops right back up. So it could have, as it turns out, given a nice opportunity to buy that dip. I didn't take that trade. So, whatever, I'm not going to stress over that. But I did buy the first pullback as it started to squeeze up right here around 16. And then I bought this ABCD setup right here. So really overall, some very clean action on this stock, which made up for the fact that SRNE and BSGM were both on the choppy side. So after this trade right here, I was up around 2,000 on the day. Okay, so it was right about here when I was up $2,000 on the day that I took this next trade, and that gave me an extra $3,000. Well, obviously it gave me closer to probably 5,000, but then I gave back a little off the top. So, I did trade a little longer today to capture that last move around 10:30, and so I think it's kind of funny because if I'd walked away here, I would have been leaving money on the table. If I walked away right here, I would have been, walking away with profit. And since I walked away here, I am technically leaving a little, or giving back a little bit of profit, but I'm not super, super worried about that. My biggest size on ACB was 6,000 shares. That was the biggest position I took, and I only took that position once I was already up like 30 or 40 cents on 4,000 shares. So my initial trades on it were between 1,000 and 2,000 shares. I was mostly taking trades with 1,000 share size right here. And then if I was green, I would add a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so that's the recap for today. Kind of a short one. Not a lot of trading, but green on ACB. And again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to host a workshop for all of those traders out there, especially on Facebook, YouTube, and students that are part of the starter class and that are chat room only. And during the workshop tomorrow, I'll talk a little bit about the summer school that we're going to be hosting for all Warrior Pro students. I'll invite some of you guys to join the Warrior Pro classes, and I'll talk a little bit about the strategy that I've been using to now lock up my 33rd consecutive green day. All right, you guys, so Warrior Pro students, we're going to jump over right now into the Warrior Pro room and do some Q&A on today's trades. Hey, have you seen my most popular video on YouTube? It's got over 5 million views. You can check it out right here, and check out one of my other videos on YouTube right here. I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, if you have questions, leave them down below in the comments section. I personally respond to every comment that's posted.